Did you have an agenda? Is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So move.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. The meeting minutes were sent out. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes of the May 7th meeting?
So move, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approval of the warrants were emailed.
Yeah, there was, from McLeod County, there was like February and then April bills. Is it common that they miss a month?
I will. Wasn't possible that they just didn't pay the February one for some reason.
Okay.
I'll check on it. Recycling. Recycling.
Morning, Matt.
Good, how are you, Ken? Morning, everybody. Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to pay the bill.
We got a motion or a second?
Second.
Any additional discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. So we got 12 minutes. I'll talk to John a little bit. He had a couple things. One, maybe a quick update on the law enforcement center, and then whatever else you had. You want to share into that?
Yeah, a few things, thank you. So, and I don't know how it came about. I know there was conversation a few meetings ago regarding where we were at with that energy tax credit that Jim had been working on. And I know that I think on Saturday, around the bill, we briefly discussed it. He asked if maybe I could come down for committee reports to give the board an update on where that process is at. Just last week, we did receive, or I say Jim received an email from Apex, basically indicating to Grant County a couple different things. One, the amount of money that we would see as a kickback for the energy tax credit, and two was the second invoice. And I think the invoice itself was around $64,000 that we'd have to pay in addition to receive the money for the tax credit. Well, Grant County stands to receive $305,000. Correct? 370. Well, at minus the 64, but it's 370 minus what that invoice would be, you know, at 64,000, so it's 305,950 is what Grant County stands to see kickback. Now, Chad can answer the question better than I when it comes to how does the county receive that money? Is it something received in a lump sum, or is it spread out over a 10-year period like some other tax credits would be? But at this point, it seems like that is what the county will see back for the energy tax credit. We do have a breakdown. It's a lengthy report as far as how Apex recognizes this, where the money comes from, you know, who gets what percentage, you know, for the project, for the materials used, labors, things like that. We can certainly provide that at a later time, but just felt it was important to inform the board that we do stand to see that dollar amount coming back to the county.
So there was a bill for Apex for like 45, would that
That's
be?
part of the 60.
Yeah, okay, so there will be
They might
another,
be Part of it.
another 19 later or whatever.
Then, yeah, so I think we paid 6,500. We got 46, so there'll be it's like a 3-stage, I suppose, when the report gets finalized and submitted. We'll be complete up.
So that bill would be for what you're specifically referencing.
Yeah, so that's $305,000. So
That's not chump change.
So we don't, you said we don't know for sure how it'll come.
At this point, I've done some research and I'm not exactly sure how we will receive that, whether it will be one of my thoughts of one lump sum or over a period of time. Only because we are, a governmental agency. These normally come in the way of tax credits over a number of years. So my assumption is, not being able to find anything on it, I'm gonna contact Apex and see if they know. I'm guessing it'll be something like how we have the bond that was set up for the qualified energy conservation bond for the courthouse renovations, where it's a payment over the life of the bond. So much offsetting the interest. I'm guessing that's gonna be the same type of thing, it might be for 10 years. But at the end of the day, we're still gonna realize, whether it's one lump sum over a period of time, about 305, about 306.
And is there any discretion or, I mean, does it need to go against the bond or the payment, or because can it go somewhere?
You can go to help offset the bond payment.
Yeah. If there's any overruns or whatever, I don't know how that project's coming in that respect, or.
well, yeah, funny that the very well, right? Well, without going into dollars and cents, very well. We can say that. So. Yeah. Any other questions about the tax credit?
No,
Okay.
thank you on that.
Yeah, one thing that with the project that was never figured into the overall cost of the project was kind of up in the air on whether we put them on or not, or rain gutters. And with all the dang rain that we've gotten this winter and spring, how rain gutters has become a topic again. Whether it's done in portions on the new LEC or fully. We started looking at some pricing. Some of it was outrageous. We reached out locally to Minnesota Jutter, a guy based out of the Underwood Battle Lake area. Matter of fact, he's gonna be on site here in about 5 minutes to meet with us. He gave us a rough quote for the whole entire building to include downspouts. To be under $8,000 for the whole entire building. Now, again, this is a very rough estimate. We asked to meet with him, and like I said, he's gonna be here shortly to discuss, but I wanted to present that to the board. That, this is outside of what's been bonded for. the bond proceeds. But there's been significant cost savings throughout the project that certainly, would pay for the gutters, I guess I'm saying, so. I don't know how the board feels about it at this point until we get a final, number together. As far as where we go and how we present that. There's quite an area on that roof, right? And so we'd be looking at probably a 6-inch gutter versus the smaller 4-inch that you see on residential. So just because of the water runoff, but at this point, I personally feel that it is much needed, especially on the front and west and east side of the building, especially over the Sally Port area too. I'm not so convinced that on the north side of the garage or the north side of the main office part myself, that it really needs to be done, but that we'll have to have that discussion moving forward. So I guess I'm not looking for any type of motion or anything like that at this point. But just informing, that I'll probably be coming back with an estimate to see if that's something that the board itself would be interested in paying for, so.
What are you gonna do with that water once you've got it all?
Yeah, so.
So have you addressed where it's going?
Well. Yeah,
Downhill.
downhill.
Yeah.
It'll,
One of Aaron's
it all
business.
depends, we've got some options outside the building now already, as far as. Where it could potentially go, but we'll see. I'll have those discussions yet again today, so. And last but not least, Ken had asked if I could give an update on the LEC. So we're moving along very quickly. If anybody's been out there lately, all of the building except for the east side is bricked. Everything else is done. Saturday of this weekend, there was a crew there that did the acid wash of the whole entire building. So what you see now for color is what you get. So now it really stands out, the two different style of bricks, the rough brick on the bottom with the capstone and then the thin brick or red brick up top. If we notice coming up Main Street now, you don't catch this black corner sticking out on the west side of the courthouse like it used to be prior to it being bricked. If you're not paying attention, you wouldn't know that building is there. Now that it blends in so nicely, that's in my opinion. And I know that was part of the deal with the design, is to try to not take away from your courthouse when you're coming up Main Street. So yeah, so that is going really well. Interior wise, the upstairs, that is all rocked, taped, mudded and sanded. That is ready for paint. Most of the mechanical, plumbing, all of the electrical is complete upstairs. So that's done. On Friday, we have it's called Gypcrete. It's a thin pour on the wood portion of the floor in the upstairs portion of the LEC to finish off same level as the pour floors. So that'll be complete. Elevator, they will be here in about a couple weeks. Windows are due to start going in on June 3rd. Along with the glass up front in the vestibule area. So we're sitting really good. There's enough work inside right now yet for the bricklayers to keep moving along. They built a shelter in the vestibule area outside to finish bricking that wall because of today's weather. So rain has been our biggest problem with this project, but again, we've been pretty fortunate. So no, everything's moving along very, very good at this point. So yeah.
Any questions for John?
Never left.
There you go. Thank you for that
Thank
update.
I just looked for the March one was paid.
Oh, it was, it,
Must have missed it.
okay, thank you.
Highway Department. Aaron, is that your?
I don't really have anything to talk about. I'd put it on here, just give you guys an update if you want.
of what little update I have for the ditches already transferred, like just discussion. I don't know if you guys have any questions as of now.
So addressing the buffer situation, that would be the. Do we know where we're at on that, or do we want to talk about it, or
What do you think, Greg?
kick the can down the road?
Do we wanna talk about that?
Well, I don't know if there's, I mean, I think we've got it ironed out, you know, we did meet with Justin, and I think the question that was posed was, you know, how is enforcement gonna work in the future? That's, right, because Grant County has a standalone ordinance that addresses buffers on ditches. So we have a policy in place that the Soil and Water Board has implemented and acknowledges is that that's what they will allow. So moving forward, if the Bois de Sioux, and you guys decide to move that direction with them taking over administration, the enforcement would still fall on, our ordinance, and Justin would be the enforcement entity for that. So we would either require 16.5 feet buffer, or there is a scenario where an alternative practice would be allowed. But that would be approved by the Soil and Water District. And both of those are being addressed, and Justin said that if enforcement needs to occur without having that buffer, then it ultimately would fall on him, since it's within Grant County's boundaries.
But it would still be a case by case.
Yes, individual, yep. So I don't know if that, per se is gonna, it's not a factor in moving forward, it shouldn't be.
So that position or narrative, has that been relayed to Bois de Sioux?
I believe so,
And
yes.
so there.
Yeah.
Have we received acknowledgement or?
Now that I don't know if there's been any formal written correspondence. I don't know that day if we came to that consensus that that was the next step, but I know Justin is gonna be visiting with what's his name, there, the attorney for
Lucas.
Lucas, about that component of it.
I guess, and I don't remember which meeting we are planning to make this, address the decision. The point would be that ahead of that meeting, that we've got this pretty much ironed out.
Yeah, the bureaucratic side. of it.
Yes, so we're
Yeah,
not
right.
deciding that ahead of a vote to transfer.
Yep.
And so over that commences to take place, that you can stay on.
Yep.
I got a question. So Justin's the prosecutor.
Yep.
Who investigates and gives him the information to prosecute? Would that be Bois de Sioux?
Well, that's a good question, Like, and that was part of what we were trying to iron out is because the Bois de Sioux would. So how it works is the Soil and Water would inform the Bois de Sioux that there's a violation. So then administratively, the Bois de Sioux would send notice to that landowner. And in concert with that, they would work with Lucas to resolve that. So Lucas would be involved, but he would not ultimately be the one who would task them or be tasked with taking them to court in Grant County. So the Soil and Water then would be the ones who provided the information to the Bois de Sioux, and then the Bois de Sioux in concert would work with the Soil and Water and Justin to move to prosecution. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So the data would come from our Soil and Water office.
So there's still the jurisdictional ladder that's in place there.
Yes, yeah. But as we've talked before, the snafu or the dilemma is, and I don't know if it's a dilemma, but in Wilkin County and Traverse, they have a little different process. So that was always the angst that the Bois de Sioux had is how do we operate when we're in these counties? And they wanted to have some continuity or some you know, a standard process in place. And it just didn't work out because of our ordinance, and we are just do business there.
So out there, once in a while, they use the spoils. If they want to reseed and everything like that, they use the spoils to create some type of a, you know, in the buffer and get it.
And that would be something that would get worked out with the Soil and Water District.
Right,
That's not,
where it fits and where it don't, that's kind of,
Right.
you know,
yep,
they'll just melt that together.
Does that make sense to us, Aaron?
Makes sense to me.
there any reason why we don't set a hearing date to do it?
That's
You
what I-
sure could. It'd be July.
Well, I was thinking July 16th, yeah.
The second meeting,
I don't know if the rest of you got any phone calls, but I did, and, from one guy who said, absolutely, we need to go with the Boy to Sioux farmer down there. So I don't know, did any of you guys get a call from a farmer down there?
Yep,
Okay,
and they were on board with it. They think it's a good direction to go.
well, I did too, so.
Yeah, if you guys think you wanna set that date, then I can talk to Lucas and guys at the Boy to Sue and Jamie and
the proper notices.
just gotta put a thing in the paper 2 weeks in advance, so.
I would make a motion to set that hearing for July 16th at 1 PM right here in this room.
Second,
So, got a motion and a second for July 16th at 1 PM, discussion. I just have a question. Is that our second meeting date?
Yes,
So would there be a reason to have it that late, or do we plan on a pretty full agenda?
Can you tell me what's on the agenda?
Well, I'm not sure there'll be 4 hours of agenda. I could hedge that in July. No.
How many weeks does it need to run in the paper?
2.
I just think we have the potential of having a large number of people and we can take care of our business in the morning and then we can solely focus on that.
Yep. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, you have a question there?
Earlier in July or even the latter part of June? Well,
If we can't in June, we have a hearing on different days prior, so.
We have a motion in a second. Is there any other discussion? June 16th at 1 PM for the July 16th, excuse me. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Well. You got 22 minutes to tell us where the water's running today.
It's going that way, or that way. You go east of town, it goes that way.
around the hill.
Yeah. It always runs down, yeah.
yeah,
I guess I could mention this, I had. Scott T-Bird call me the other day and he had mentioned he wanted to get a. Section of ditch 1 cleaned out, so I got some prices coming from. Wagner Construction. Jesse Olson, and then, Red Rock Tile and Excavating. So. 4,700 feet to be, from 79, that open section, which is like 1,300 feet, and then. Another 3,000 feet north and east of there, so. Just so your guys are aware.
landowners are all aware about it. And Line share and one.
They've got sufficient money to do it.
Well, that's a different discussion.
So you're getting prices. Should we address the different discussion or don't we want to talk about the different discussion today?
I don't even know how much they have in their ditch fund right now, just because of the redetermination stuff that's been going on, but we haven't paid that full amount, cause that's still going on. I gotta meet with, Dwight Veldhouse one of these days. He's working out the final stuff on that and then there'll be me and Chad will have to do some stuff for the redetermination. We're getting there on that. But Other than that, I don't have much other ditch stuff going on right now.
So we got 20 minutes. So you've been doing some bridge training and do you want to give us kind of an update on what the day in life of Aaron is in highway? That's what happens when you have put that much agenda.
I answer the telephone, I'm doing bills, I'm doing payroll now, Gotta do dust control with Pat, so I have to make a map for that. Matt's been having me get in touch with some engineer consultants to set up construction agreements and stuff. What else am I working on? It's a bunch of random different stuff. Getting ready for construction. Had to go to Herman yesterday and the Berlin Avenue stuff, the grass didn't take, so I had to call Joe Riley to get him back out there to get that seeded. Yeah, I don't know. Harder,
Just throw it in behind the curb, the tile. Okay.
the seed didn't take. And if it did, it's weeds. So,
Yeah, but they're green.
Looks like the stuff along the County Road 10 really took
mhm,
that,
on the south section, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that last year when they hydro seeded it, it grew within 3 days because they seeded it and it rained and it was already going.
Isn't that amazing?
Mhm. No, I didn't know how much time to put for this, so I put a
So-
bunch.
Have you had an opportunity to prepare for a fishing update?
Fishing update?
Yeah.
Walleye opener, or what do you mean?
Yeah, any, whatever. Yeah, open water.
I caught them,
You did?
yeah.
And I'm gonna ask you where, I know where you're gonna tell me.
Yeah, like wish you knew.
Yeah.
No, me and Jordan Bukins went, we did pretty good, so.
Good.
No, I don't have anything else, so.
Well, the next two agenda items are within the highway department, so if we move it forward, I don't know that anyone's gonna feel bad, so thank you, Aaron.
And mine's gonna take 30 seconds, all goes well.
Well, you know what happens when we get ahead?
I've
You walk out the door.
yeah, we get done early and go home. I think you guys all got the receipt for Matt's car from Valley Forge. You guys all got that in the bills, and I do believe was approved to pay already, but I'm here for the approval to purchase the rest of purchase Matt's car. It is in, so, and I will, if I can get a check tomorrow or Thursday, I will go down. Can I get it earlier?
No.
Okay. Okay, well,
That means you work Friday.
you guys are paying it, so. Yeah, I will go down and pick up Matt's car when I get the check, so. Yeah, with you guys' approval.
So do we need a motion? Have we approved the purchase?
We have approved the purchase through the budget. I did come to you guys for the down payment, $1,000.
And it was in the bills.
And it was in the bills and you guys did approve that, so I just wanna let you know this is the last item on. The stuff that large purchases I'll be for equipment this year. So
So should the minutes reflect you're not coming back to buy anything?
I'm writing it. The minutes should not reflect that by any means. Cause we all know better than that.
I know.
Pat, what kind of vehicle is it?
This is a 2024 Ford Explorer. So Matt picked it out to his likings, what he wanted. So.
Typically, what happens with the bills is you guys approve those today. We'll hold them for 3 days and release them on 3 days after approval. But if you so choose to allow the release of that check, if there's no problems with it, then I would inform, well, Jamie is on, I don't know if she's listening or not, but then we would inform the treasurer that she could go ahead and release that.
Would that be advantageous to release it sooner for you?
Well, it would be because since we don't work Fridays.
Okay,
So
so
if I could go down and get Thursday would be,
could you do that
we adopted that as a policy from the board, so I would say, I'll make a motion to release that check once it's ready. I think we should have formal board action.
I agree on that. So we have a motion, we got a second to release the check when it's ready. Is there additional discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Perfect.
So Matt's Jeep now, is that going?
They've already got the Jeep. The other one was sold on the auction. All the
They-
items did sell on the auction,
They is,
the auditor or the assessor's office.
okay, yeah,
Yep, we got that to them probably a month and a half ago now, I'd say.
and something was sold?
Yeah, we sold their Expedition. We sold our other Jeep. And we sold the pickup.
What did we get for that expedition? You remember?
4,500 bucks. Wasn't as good as I thought it would be, but still. Yeah. So we did okay on the auction. I won't say it was great, but we did okay. So everything that we put on.
And that was on your online,
Yep, online auction, yep.
not min bid though, right?
Nope, this is Gov Deals,
Yeah, yeah.
yep. So,
So you do have a few minutes. Would you like to give us the Pat McGrath update and see how your day and week and month are going and what's your vision for the next?
oh, boy, if you wanna go vision, that's deep, but no. We've been shouldering. We did a lot of roads to the north here. We did our crack filling, we got that done. We are chloride, we'll get placed next week. And that'll be Hennon Lawn Care doing that. So we started staking for that today. We will start doing patching hopefully in the next couple weeks here on the
Are the
town
hot
roads.
mix plants fired up now?
Yep, there's a couple of hot mix plants fired up, so we'll start doing that and we're gonna really focus on. We got a lot of patching to do, so we're gonna focus hard on that, so.
With that new piece of equipment you got like last year or whatever, that,
The planer,
that's
yep,
where you're gonna lay it down, right?
yep, well, we can grind up the asphalt that's there, and then we can have a nice spot to lay down the new asphalt.
And so you can roll it.
Yeah, and then we got the new roller to go along with it, so, yeah.
So there would be, there's a few spots like. I know we're gonna redo County Four, next year or two, but there's some spots in that one curve that aren't too good.
Yeah,
But you guys see them. so.
yeah, so yeah, we.
Yeah.
We see them, we hear about them, we
Yeah.
know about them.
Yeah.
It's just that we can't always get to them right away. or
Right.
We have a lot of work to do in the future to get the roads back where they need to be.
So I do a couple potholes in Norcross too, I think.
We're gonna leave that area alone. Just kidding. We'll get to them. So,
Do you remember the number we got for that old roller? How much was that again? You talked about it when I was down there.
it's a tough question. What was it?
2-3 grand?
Aaron, do you remember what it was? What? The pool we got for the roller?
No idea.
Yeah, I
It
don't
was
know.
good money.
It was good money we got for it. Went to a lawn care service. They're gonna roll people's yards
In
in
Wisconsin?
Wisconsin, yeah.
So is that like a roller, you're talking a dual drum
Yep,
roller?
dual
Yeah, that-
drum steel roller. They do it in lawn, use it for lawn care service.
Wouldn't that be awful heavy?
That's what they like over there, I guess.
I wished I had that for the Ashby Ball Park.
Well, you should have bought it.
I know, I didn't know it was for sale. Well, the school would have had to buy it. You don't remember what you got for it though?
I'd have to look, it was good money for it. I was surprised by what we got. So, yeah. Yep.
So, are there any things that we can do or any suggestions for us to assist you in your areas of responsibility?
I think we're good right now. We'll see how the summer lays out. Maybe a new. We talked with the light winter, maybe we purchase a loader towards the end of the season. So that's why we said we shouldn't put that on the minutes that we're not gonna purchase nothing else.
I already got it written down.
Hey, it was your idea at the meeting.
That was within 3.5 minutes. We.
I already got it written down.
And this was your idea, if we had a light winter, we could maybe purchase a loader.
Yeah.
That's in the minutes, I'm sure, back in January.
So Pat, the
Maybe.
the newest loader you got now is about 8 years old.
Let's see, that's a 2019.
I thought that was the first motion I made as a commissioner. That was the 3-2.
Who's in that?
Yeah, that would have been in 2019.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then the other one,
Five years.
97,
2009.
Yeah, sick, I'm sorry.
The other one we have is a,
96, 97.
yeah, 96, 97,
The
yeah.
big snow and you got a blower and a loader.
Yeah.
FEMA.
Yeah,
So you got this 2019, what's the next loader? What, how old is that?
that's a 96, 90, it's a 96.
Is that a 950?
Yep, that is also a 950, yep. Yep, and that'd be the one we replace,
Yeah.
So maybe a suggestion,
Mhm.
Ken, he always brings up the spreadsheet.
Yep,
If it's possible and some meeting in the future, but ahead of when we probably have a purchase
Yep.
carrying force would be to spiff up if it's not and make a presentation to us, with the spreadsheet.
Okay.
Kind of looking at a little bit like a road plan, but equipment plan is kind of see where we're at and who's on first and who's on second and kind of what our strategy.
we need to get a coach in the accounting office first, and then we'll get that.
We gotta figure out how to do that.
Yeah, we gotta get the accountant part figured out first, and then.
So do you need help with Excel or?
We need help with just, body, the body there to do the books,
Okay,
so we can all see exactly what.
I'll be playing around with it
Yeah.
and working with CPT, I think.
Yeah.
Is how they, like Shane generated those in the past, off of cost rate.
okay, yeah, so it's specialized.
So we can see where our money situation is sitting, basically, I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Tracking.
That makes sense.
Did that come? Looks like quarterly budgets, did they come up with like cost rate, you know?
So that's what we got.
Yeah.
We just gotta figure out where we're sitting and see if it's even a doable thing at that point in time. Sure. So. Yep,
Anyone else have some questions for?
I do, are we gonna touch a little on these new approach culverts and are we gonna go down that road or you guys, you wanna
I
talk?
think
You wanna
that's
bring it up the next meeting or
I
something?
think that's something we gotta talk about between us. Versus right, the approaches and all that other permits and stuff like that. That's something we gotta, yeah, we haven't went down that road yet, so.
Okay. It's fine.
Yep. You got anything, Mr. Spear? No?
You don't listen anyway, so.
Yeah, good enough.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Matt.
Good morning.
Morning.
Guess the first item I have is the contracts and bonds for the countywide traffic marking. About a month ago, the board awarded this project to Sir Lancelot. And this here is the contracts are back from Sir Lancelot, so just looking for approval from the board for contracts and bonds.
We need a motion and I'm not sure I fully understand can you tell Chad exactly what we're approving,
You're approving the contract with Sir Lancelot.
Sir Lancelot contract? Okay, do we have a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second
Second,
discussion?
Standard contract,
Yep. Standard traffic marking yearly.
We gotta mark these roads. May start to disappear.
Yep, that happens.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Right. The next item is an agreement with Otter Tail Power Company in regards to Trunk Highway 55. As part of the agreement with the DOT to be a partner in the Trunk Highway 55 project, it was that the county would take care of all the preliminary engineering and the DOT and Boyd Sioux would help pay for the construction costs of it. One of the last hurdles to get over is the relocation of the power poles out there along 55. And what I have for you guys is the agreement with Otter Tail Power for them to relocate those poles so we can move forward with the project. I believe it was at,
4,698.63.
yep, roughly half the total cost to relocate the poles. Half of them are in their existing owned private easements, and half of them were in MinDOT right away. So they split the cost 50-50.
Is there a motion to approve the Otter Tail Power? What are we calling it? Or utility relocation agreement?
Yep.
As a member of the highway committee, I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second
Second.
discussion as it relates to it?
So that 80-some thousand, who's paying that?
That would come from the highway department account.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I would say with this project, once this is complete, all the paperwork and all the documentation for the design has to be sent down to St. Paul, to the MinDOT office for final review and approval of the agreement, which would be the next thing I believe I would be coming to the board with, probably in a little over a month. I think that's how long it's gonna take to get something back. So probably look at bidding this project later this fall for next year construction.
So, what a question. Part of this project did not include anything on land townships, gravel that goes to that bin site, right? That's.
I'm not sure where Land Township's
We're
bid site
talking-
is.
This is Route
This is-
55 on the way to.
Oh, oh,
In between the gas and West.
excuse
Yeah,
me.
this is over the Mystica River.
I was
there.
gonna go down another path and get off this one. So we're done with this. Could I ask you a question about the other one that in Hoffman?
Oh, sure.
Cause at some point, and that come up from Nathan Gannon when we talked about this, when there's community ed. About if that road was gonna get enhanced, if that project commenced to take place after we got that LRIP money. Is, he said a lot of times we get to the point and all of a sudden the townships. Say we can't afford to own the road, Kenton Road with all that. Do we, and he said the sooner that gets addressed, the better, so I guess the question I have, do we need to be engaging with Land Township?
Well, we will be eventually meeting with all the cities and townships down there. We don't have our engineer on board yet. I did meet with an engineer. They're gonna provide me a proposal. But as far as the township road heading down to that bin site, there's not much gonna change besides how it connects up to CASA 5. You know, try to bring CASA 5 out wider so you can get a little bit of truck stacking distance to realign it when it goes across the tracks. And we bring in the township road probably further east than where it is now, so it's a better turning radius for them.
Yeah.
But as far as the road itself going down to the bin site, there would be nothing in the project for this. That would have to be something the township would need to do.
You referring to, Mr. Chair, that was gonna be black all the way down there, man?
Well, you know, you hear from the locals when they're. Yes, if it's gonna involve that much more traffic, and I don't know what ProAg's plan is as far as that bin site, but it appears that. I mean, the elevators know what they're gonna, in town, what their plan is for the elevator and receiving and drying. I don't know if they're gonna be moving.
Because I haven't heard anything from ProAg or what they're doing down there.
I just know Nathan said, we see this a lot, where the project and all of a sudden the township says we can't afford. To do this road, or we can't afford to own and maintain this road, and then he said, if you don't address that. On the front end, I've seen projects that come to a screeching halt.
Well, for Land Township, on the CASA 5 project, there would be no cost for them. For what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
If they wanna pave that road down to the bin site, that's a different discussion.
Well, and I'm wondering if that, cause I have a feeling that we're gonna hear from the local, and their feeling is gonna be once when we're doing construction, that we should address that third mile or whatever it is.
So my answer to that would be the same as when the elevator in town here wanted the county to take over the road going west. Or when Sanford Township asked me my thoughts about taking over between 54 and 55 is no. I mean. I don't know how redoing County Road 5. I mean, that addresses nothing as far as their site of what they can handle. That's not our.
I know they did submit for dust control down there, so
They what?
they did submit for dust control.
Well, and I'm not saying I don't, I probably agree with that. The question I have is, at some point, should we address it so they can, and them and their constituents in their township can plan that if this project commences to start at some point in the future, that if our decision is that we're not gonna exchange a third of a mile or road with them, that we're not gonna own it, just like you said, then I think they should probably know that. And if we have to make something official, because I guess I'd hate to get down path and then all of a sudden this becomes a discussion and
I guess I've never had any conversations with the township regarding paving or taking over that road in any way, so I guess I don't know where those discussions are coming from. But if you can direct them to me if you're having.
yeah, well, and I probably, the discussions originated from Nathan Gannon. And he just said from an overview, he's seen it many times, there's projects, and then it comes to who owns the road and something.
Yeah, that happens a lot in like leapfrog development where they find land, cheaper land close to a city and they go build on that and the infrastructure lags behind getting out there because there is no development leading up to it. And that happens all the time. But instead of, right now, it'd be up to the township to decide what they want to do with the road.
Okay, so maybe I'll do a little communicating with that board and what if they wanna talk to you about it, they can, and,
Oh, certainly.
okay. What else, do we have anything else that on your?
Good rain.
Anything on County Road 10? Do we got?
It looks
water
like,
running over the road today, or?
We're gonna put those two pipes in here tomorrow morning. As well, so the road will be closed for that part of the day. Shouldn't take more than a day. We'll open it back up. And it sounds like, I believe it's Knife Lake or Concrete are gonna come in and start working on the curb and gutter that's remaining that needs to be in place. Hopefully, they said late next week, they get started on that. I don't have a word yet from Mark Santagrav on when they're gonna pave yet, but it'll be at least a week and a half to 2 weeks after the curb and cutters in, so.
So with that are they putting in 36-inch, 24-inch, 48-inch?
It's 2 24-inch lines of RCP or concrete pipe.
And they'll go side by each
Yep, they'll be right next to each other, about 100 feet or so away from the
to
other.
the north,
So it will, yeah, it is
to
south.
the south?
Yep.
They're just overflows.
What's that?
They're just relief pipes.
Same elevation of what's in there now?
No,
No, way.
higher elevation. Staying.
So the elevation relation to the top of the box culvert. The top of the box culvert be in the middle of these pipes, or?
The exact elevation of the inverts is 1151, and I can't remember what the top of the box culvert
I
is.
think the culvert's at like 1145. So
The top,
the bottom of it, the invert of it. So they'd be set up higher above the ordinary high water of that wetland. So if the water ever does get up that high, it still has some room to generate a head to be able to clean out that existing box culvert. If there are any issues, anything above that would overflow through those pipes across the road.
I got a question for you, Matt. So you said like in a week and a half, they're gonna overlay it after these pipes are in?
No, a week and a half though, or at the end of next week, they're gonna put in the curb and gutter.
Oh, okay, and then,
Then another week and a half after that. Is a minimum amount of time, you know, for
right,
them to come in and start paving up against it.
so what do Riley's have left down there?
Mostly just some punch list items and some cleanup work, but as far as
No big machine.
no big machinery at all.
Okay.
All the mass work is done.
Who's putting the pipes in?
It'll be SF excavating.
Finkelson out of Dalton.
Yep.
And then that company that's putting the curb and gutter in, they're doing all the grading, the gravel.
Mark Santa Gravel will be doing the top lift shaping and adding the extra gravel.
Knife River did the whole.
Yeah.
You know, flat work. did it
Yeah.
all.
Would we have a certain amount of days, and you mentioned time that once you disturb what we got there to put these pipes in, or isn't it deep enough to really be worried about that, or
No, they're gonna be pretty shallow, so there shouldn't be much of any issue as far
we
as
should end up with a big dip?
Shouldn't be, but with any pipe, you're gonna get a dip over time, but it's not gonna be much, it probably won't even be noticeable with how deep they are, so.
Yeah.
If you start getting 6, 7, 8 feet deep, then you start getting more noticeable dips.
And we'd set. They applied a different set of engineering numbers from the box culvert to this, or did they just, or what?
Hard to tell with how many iterations I've seen. But they think it would help out by reducing it by, what was it? Those 2 pipes would drain the equivalent of a 3-year event, I believe. So in conjunction with the big box culvert, we shouldn't have any issues whatsoever down there. And the water might go up a little bit more here now since the surcharge is complete and there's a lot of sand put into that wetland, so. For that wetland to redefine its channel to get to the lake, it's probably gonna take some time, so it'll probably have to go up a little bit before the water break out and define its channel again.
Our relationship as far as usage or costs with WSB and some of the other discussions you probably had with them, is there, where are we at with them, or?
So far, we still have money left over from the previous agreement, so as of right now, it doesn't look like we'll be coming with an amendment. So, but it all depends on how things work out. They haven't always gone so smoothly, so you never know.
Some of the discussions that related to some of the previous situations, that any resolution as it results of that, or?
Nope, not yet. We have seen some movement from John Riley Construction. As far as getting us prices, and now they're starting to get us timelines of when the work will get done, but as far as the old change orders, we're still waiting on resolution on those.
How about WSB being part of that one resolution that we had?
Well, that's a conversation. We're still gonna have the whole easement with Ken Marshall. I'll hopefully have a replat coming back to the board here next board meeting, I believe, like Pat Bearguth, the county surveyor, is working on that right now. So hopefully we'll have all that and the easement signed and completed here next board meeting.
Sure.
And then we can broach those topics with WSB and Braun. See where to go.
Any other words of wisdom for us?
No. 5 board members, 5 days a week, we could have a receptionist each day.
There you go.
Man, County Road 82 up by Ashby, any idea when they're gonna start on that?
Well, they should have got the contracts back last week, so whenever we reach out to them, we'll try to get a pre-con scheduled. get a timeline from them. So, yeah, no word yet.
Okay, there's nothing else. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
We have other, City of Ashby.
I got a question for you, Matt, I got a thing here. I don't know, if it pertains to the railroad crossing, them arms south of town there, but. If that does or not, I. The webinar thing for grants or something.
Real crossing delineation program. All those are, that's more for closing old underutilized
Okay.
crossings. And the state gets so much money and they do some of those as they go. Did a few of them in Otter Tail.
Okay.
So, we got it. Assuming the 9,300 is their balance, would that be accurate? So Ashby has requested 9,300 of their, which is their balance of the ARPA funds. Their motion to approve that request.
I'll make that motion.
Their second,
Second.
any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Mr. Chair, I got a question on ARPA fund, maybe for Chad. If we designate that money in 24, do we still have in 25 to spend it? Cause that ambulance, they don't know exactly when it's coming, you know, it might be. Okay, that was my question. It might be in the 25 a little bit, but we're good there then.
So. Just a question, as long as we're talking about that. Should we talk about the strategy or plan to communicate with the organizations that have not responded?
And I think there was 6 townships, if I'm not mistaken, $12,000.
And I know I talked to Elk Lake Township, but she had a question about some of the requirements, and I think she's gonna be. They've spent the money on their town hall. And they intend to,
To come for that.
Yeah.
So we're down to 10 then.
you got a recommendation, Chad?
Well, I can tell you, well, now that Ashby is done, Norcross is not, Wendell has not, 7,000, 19,000 for Wendell, 7 for Norcross, and then it's Elk Lake, Erdahl, Gordon, Lawrence, Logan, and Sanford have not requested. Hoffman had 2,099.50, but I can't remember if they requested that after the back, see if they got the spreadsheet. I think they did.
Yeah, I think they were, because they were gonna apply to another project. Well, I don't know that we should wait till the end of the year. If they didn't choose to do something with it, should we have a discussion on what we would opt to do with it, or? I mean, we talked about this ambulance fund, I mean, is that an area that? Or do we wait and see what happens, how many dollars to talk about, or what? I don't know that doing nothing is a good option. Thoughts?
I think that, you know, probably the commissioner in those areas could personally contact them and ask them, just ask them. Or a letter from the board, but, you know, I guess a personal phone call maybe wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Okay. So along that line, I got a question. should we have a general idea what we would do with the funds if they didn't request them? Are we consistent on that? Because we may contact the city and we say they got $2,000. Well, what are you gonna do with it if we don't do anything with it? I don't know. Or if we've had that discussion, we can say, well, we would put it into X. Do we need to have that discussion ahead of the phone call or ahead of the communication piece?
So we got a fair that could probably use some dollars down there. We got a Pine Ridge Park that could probably use, that was just brought up this morning to me. And down here at Senex, that there could be some better playground equipment down at Pine Ridge.
I've had 2 calls on that in the last week,
Yep.
but every time they get something out there, some idiot goes out there and wrecks it.
Yeah. No, it's,
And we tore the doors off the bathrooms and burned them and
yeah,
that one sheet's been hanging on that outhouse for a couple of years. That's been the longest door that's ever lasted. I know it. So,
I would say what Bill said, if there's some extra money there, we can certainly look at the fair board, because I think they're coming to talk to us a little bit about something, you know.
Well, what's his name approached us about that longer term plan, that building. I don't know if that's still in the,
Right.
oh yeah, everything's always worked, but
yeah.
we gotta get this, we're doing this other one first. I mean, to get that done, we gotta get it done before the fair, so.
Which one is that in Doyle again?
Which one, what we're working on now? That was the ladies exhibit building right there by the.
Yeah.
baseball stand.
That's the one that got moved off the foundation or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gone now.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, didn't the
Yeah.
one do it? So that's.
But what did we?
Just to give you guys a follow-up, the city of Level Lake applies for grant dollars from the DNR. And it's like $150,000. And you gotta do in-kind contribution, whether it be truck labor or people or anything like that, of 150 or at least equal to. And they've done that already, you know, years back, we did the athletic park, and now there's another grant dollars that's gonna get poked into. The splash pad and Vex Park and stuff up there, so. If, I don't know, we can maybe get somebody to take the lead on that, and see if we can get some grant dollars for that. That even the fair and Pine Ridge.
So when we started this was referred to as a community partnership program. So does someone wanna make a motion that we contact our respective townships or cities and ask them? And out of the community partnership program, if they're not gonna submit something by a date, we can decide that we would put them into. You can finish my sentence.
Another category.
Let me finish it for you, that sounds like the chairman of the board. Discussion and direction.
Well, I have no problem having the discussion, but I don't know about the decision, because I think,
Well, decisions are
right,
reaching out, maybe.
well, you want me to reach out to the respective townships?
I'll call her all in Sanford.
Okay,
Well, I think we should, that's our responsibility, if your township, I've already done Elk Lake,
okay,
I can tell you that. And, Chad has emailed their clerk and me, and so. I would say that respectively, if you have a township that hasn't spent their funds. But the question is do we need to have an answer for the respective township or city? What we'll be doing with the money? Because if we don't, that leaves that a little bit,
Yeah, and I think we should have a date on that too,
well, I think we should too, so.
like August 1st. Or something, you know.
What do you think, Doyle Spear?
Well, to let them know if they don't use it, they'll lose it.
Okay,
Put it somewhere else.
so we should, would you say then, just to let them know that, should we have a date?
I would say August 1st.
Now, the program did have a date, decision wise, can we defer from that, Chad, do you think, or not?
I guess, what are you getting the program done?
Well, did the ARPA program, the whole program, they didn't, wasn't there dates that it had to be decided by and used by? And I guess the question is,
End of the year.
so can we change that, or are we going to these people?
I only got the funds. You guys decided how to utilize those funds.
So we could say, you said August first.
Mhm.
Well, if they wait till the end of the year, then what would we wouldn't have no time to do anything.
Yeah.
I would ask we go like September first.
That's what I was thinking, of maybe a little bit later.
Get through the festivities.
Well, and if say township's meeting quarterly, they may not meet again till.
Yeah. So by consensus, we do have some options, the fair and a few things that Pine Ridge Park is within the community that kind of fits where our needs are. We don't maybe need to decide that today, but should we have a motion that we contact our respective organizations and we haven't heard by September first, their funds will then be reappropriated to an area to be determined. Someone want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So, Mr. Chair, can you just read off those townships again?
Well, I don't have, Chad had the updated. Make sure I got this right. If you want to forward this,
Redo this, but I can forward it to you too. City of Norcross has not requested anything. And they were allotted $7,000. Wendell has not requested, they had 19,000. And then the townships are each 2,000. Elk Lake, Erdahl, Morton, Lawrence, Logan, Sanford.
so. Did everybody get that and jot it down, or you want to resend that spreadsheet? That's what I have.
I can resend it.
Maybe resend it to the board, so we all, and plus then I'll have the dollar amount. And communicate that. Is there anything else, committee reports that should address?
Was strategic planning, we talked at one point about moving this corner HR, emergency management and veteran services up to the courthouse and the sheriff's office league. And we talked about if there's anything that needs to be done, we should get that lined up so that once that space is vacated, because ideally, my opinion is I'd like to have that empty by the end of this year, so Western Prairie can occupy it and start paying rent.
Yeah.
So we talked about HR going in to the booking area, emergency management into where the deputies are, and the veteran service officer over by, well, the HRA one right by the break room there. That outside one there. So I don't know if we should have a motion from the board. I mean, if that's okay with everybody, if that, that plan to have them go with Jeff and see if there's anything. I mean, if we gotta spend any money, we need to figure out how much, what we're doing.
Are we gonna do any of the building and grounds committee, legwork here, or?
We sure can. I mean, that's what we're saying is this what we're looking at? Cause that's what I got from Ashley and Tina, cause we said, we guys decide which side you wanted.
Right.
Well, and probably if we're gonna make it in the form of an official motion, it probably should also relate to the public health side. But that's also gonna be vacated, so. do we wanna start with a motion that would relate to that and then second, then we can have a discussion, or we wanna talk more
Well,
about
we
it?
can, let's do them as two different ones. I mean,
Okay.
I'll make a motion to start the process of moving HR, emergency management, and the veteran service officer to the courthouse. I'm letting him get it. Do we want to be specific as to where, the booking area, deputy area, and that other?
I would probably say the existing law enforcement.
Well, the one's going over by the break room.
Oh, yeah. It's, I don't know, it's up, you wanna be specific at this point? I mean, you can, it's,
Well, we'll approve anything they come back with for changes, that they want for changes, so. I think we just get it started.
okay, so we have a motion, did you get that? Or were you like, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay,
Yeah, the motion is to start the process moving HR, EM, and VSO to the courthouse.
okay. Any additional discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Do we also then need to formally let Ann know from public health that,
Yeah, I've told her that it's in the works.
so,
She was happy about that. So, and that'll happen probably sooner than later.
Yeah.
So I didn't tell her a time, but I said it will be, month or two, I suppose. So,
Well, talking to Greg, I think he said they can move in like a day,
yeah,
so potentially, I would think by the end of the month, but.
Yeah.
Depending on what's gotta be done, I guess, up there, but.
so do we sense that, do we just assume that's gonna commence to take place and we don't really need a motion for that? I think you're on the committee, you can,
Yeah.
communicate with her, and obviously they're here, so they'll see it.
yeah.
Other committee reports, Bill?
Sure, we can talk about this EMS and we got some success done with the state. The governor hasn't signed it yet, but the talk is he's going to. So, and then there's 30 million aid package coming out for rural medical services. More than 4 million will be for West Central Minnesota. There's revenue coming out to Otter Tail and Grant and some of the entities within Grant County. As far as a sprint car. Innovative Sprint Medic Pilot Program. So, and this is to include Otter Tail, Grant, and St. Louis counties. And Senator Jordan Rasmussen created the legislation and it flew through the Senate down there. So I just was on the phone with him this morning and I would like, and he would like to do a follow-up. So that EMS task force would like to come back out here to Elbow Lake and have a meeting here and do a follow-up on what went on. And just get all parties, players in the room and discuss like what we did, when was that meeting? May, not May, but March or somewhere in there?
That was a pretty large gathering, that
Yeah.
same
That's,
gathering?
yes.
Okay, so who would? be in
Spearhead
charge of-
that?
Yeah, who would be Bill and who?
Well, it would be Senator Rasmussen, Representative Jack Backer,
Okay,
and I would guess Senator Seeberger, she was here. And then those other reps that are in the room, they're, with the House being up all 134 seats up this fall. I would guess there's gonna be some outreach of reps out here just to give us a follow-up. So instead of, he said, she said, it would be better to get all the players in the room and discuss how this innovative process is gonna take place. Because there's gonna be revenue coming out to Otter Tail County and the state auditor. We had a meeting yesterday in Ashby, the county auditor from Otter Tail County was there and talked on, compliance and where we're headed and, the dollars moving forward and how we're delivering the services. And the state is gonna be watching this one close, just to see how we perform on it. So we gotta get everybody rallied on this one, so everybody knows just exactly, you know, where this is gonna end. Okay, and have a good end result, because the state is gonna measure us on this thing, just to see how well we perform. So that's about all.
So just to make sure, so. Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing it up, but can we assume then that Jordan or Jeff are gonna coordinate this, or are you? It's not up to our, just,
No,
okay,
no, they'll line up the room and we just
Okay.
gotta pick dates and figure out what's gonna work for those guys. Okay, so
okay,
it'll be sometime in maybe June, early June, mid-June, something like that. Okay? I just assume that wanted into the day after a board meeting or something like that, you know, you never know what goes on, so
Yeah.
let's let those guys work with their schedules, and then they'll reach back out to me, and I'll make sure that they get the room lined up here for what they did before. I never did any of that, you know what I mean, they did it all. They lined everything up.
okay, any other committee reports? Dwight,
I'm good.
Doyle?
Good.
Roy? You're pretty good? Ken's good? If nothing else, then we'll adjourn at 10:16. Thank you.
Have you taken them to look at? Or are you good?
I'm good. Let me just look at it.
Which one?